cycling, what's my motivation to get out there and cycle? If you saw last week's video, you might be thinking to yourself, man, that looks fun. And if you didn't, check the link in the description. But you're wondering, can I get out there and ride? What's going to be my motivation to get me out there? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in this week's video, and you're in for a treat because I got some good footage before it started raining on me. What's going on, beautiful people? If you're returning, I want to welcome you back to week 2, and if you're new here, I want to welcome you to my channel, where I'm going to be focusing on bicycling and my journey to health and wellness. Each week, I'm going to give you my ride and discuss something that will help you on your own journey. I'm A-Trod, and I'm a disabled Air Force veteran who was able to restore my health by adjusting my diet and riding the bicycle. I'm back at it here for week 2, and let's wave hi to everybody that we see. I'm just that kind of friendly guy. This week we're going to take a ride to my local American Legion post, Larry Jeffers, post number 195. This was a tough week for riding because of the weather. There were many days that it rained and I couldn't get out. And on the days that it didn't rain, I was juggling the obligations that I had with friends and family. In reality, it's really easy just to convince yourself that you're not going to go for a ride or you really don't have time. That's where finding your motivation is really going to help you out. My main motivation comes from the reason why I'm building this channel. That's my health and wellness. I have lots of friends and family, and I want to live to hang out with them and enjoy life. I beat my body up pretty bad when I was in the military, and I suffer from chronic pain and fatigue and a number of other ailments, but I want to have a better quality of life, and that's where cycling comes in for me. I also enjoy eating. But just because you're cycling doesn't mean you can eat whatever you want. There are a number of schools of thought on, how many calories you're burning and how many calories you can replace or need to replace, along with how much water you need to drink, but I don't really go by any of those. Don't get me wrong, I still eat whatever I want. I'll have ice cream, pizza, whatever, but I don't eat it all the time. I eat one meal a day, or I intermittent fast to a point where I eat in a window of about 4 to 6 hours, and that's it. The rest of the day I'm just drinking water, coffee, tea. But this is what works for me, and it might not work for you. A few times out of the year I also do a total fast and nothing but water, so that is something that I've been able to discipline myself to do. Sometimes I'll do a couple days on a fast, or maybe I'll do up to a week. It's hard because of the social aspects of eating, but it works. And it keeps me from being diabetic. I'm very motivated to be without complications with respect to diabetes. I didn't come up with this on my own. And I'm going to give a shout out to the doctor that wrote several papers and did a few YouTube videos to teach people how they can also cure themselves of diabetes. If you're looking for the search term, try to find the Bittersweet Truth, and it's by a cardiologist, Dr. Pradeep Jamnadas. I devoted hours upon hours of watching his videos and reading his papers on his take on what causes diabetes. And I was bound and determined to figure out how I was not going to have diabetes. That was my motivation. I did not want to take diabetic medication with all those side effects that they have for the rest of my life. Riding the bicycle is a lot of fun, and it's a great way to exercise your heart and keep it healthy. If you look on the right side of the screen, you'll see the flashing school sign. And I didn't go right at the peak of school getting out, went riding a little bit later, so there wasn't a lot of traffic, and the only people in the parking lot were those poor kids who have the horrible parents. I forgot about them. I'm just joking, of course, but you want to time your ride so that you avoid that kind of traffic. You don't want to be out there getting in the way of parents trying to turn into the school. You have to follow the rules of the road and be safe out there. Time for a water break. How do I know it's time for a water break? The app on my phone has told me that I've gone a mile. I use Map My Ride to track my progress, and every mile I decide to take a drink. This particular bottle came from Outspoken Bicycle. That's their logo. When I bought my bike, they gave me the water bottle. Whatever you do, don't forget to bring water, or you'll regret it. Your body will hate you for it, and you'll get a lot of cramping or muscle aches, and it's just not good overall. You're probably noticing that there are a lot more cars in this ride, and this place has a higher traffic rate. I like the neighborhood that I showed you in the first week because it's very calm, and I rarely do see cars except when I'm crossing the highway. But as long as you follow the rules of the road, depending on the laws in your state, you're going to be okay. I chose this route because I wanted to challenge myself. My target was still a half an hour of riding, but this route had a lot of hills and elevation changes. It was very tough on the legs, and you can tell in some spots where I'm just going so slow, but I'm using my gears and getting myself up that hill. I still rode a good half an hour, but I did about 6 or 7 miles each ride. My motivation this week was the hills and trying to challenge myself. Leave me a comment and tell me what your motivation would be. What drives you to try something new? What's going to be your challenge? This week I was able to get 3 bike rides in, but that was mainly because of the rain. The first day I got 7.21 miles. The second day I got 7.24 miles, and the last day I got 6.12 miles. So average about 6.5 miles. Here on the right is the target of this week's ride, American Legion Post 195 in Lugoff. The green building to the left is the rental hall, which they have their monthly spaghetti dinners, and they also rent out on occasion. I turned right into this neighborhood to get a good turnaround and finish up my ride by heading back home. You'll see in this last set of clips that the wind brought a storm in really quick, and it gets super dark, and it's very, very windy and very tough on the legs. I'd like to give a shout out to Mary and Esther for your donations this past week. Your kindness and generosity were instrumental in helping me get a new bike helmet that properly fit and the microphone so that we could record the audio and have it sound better than using AirPods. I put the QR code up again in case anyone else wants to donate to the cause. We appreciate it here at the channel. This next part of the ride is going to get a little darker and it's a lot windier. So not only do the hills kill the legs, but the wind tires you out pretty quick. I was able to make it home right before it started raining.